Hey YouTubers, Electric Adventures here, still with a slightly croaky voice, and in a different corner of my room with a new addition. You'll notice the gargantuan size arcade cabinet next to the other one, which is not a small cabinet in its own right. This is actually a cabinet that was built by my brother-in-law quite a few years ago, he's clearing out his garage and asked whether I'd like it, so I said yes. It has enough useful components to get me started. I was going to build a horizontal configuration cabinet. Obviously the other one there is my vertical. It's still got the original control panel on there. I am going to put a new control panel on that, and probably put a brand new harness in there. Although the harness in there works, it's just messy. So this one, it's got a quite a big TV in it, and it gives, obviously I've turned it on at the moment, and it gives a reasonable picture there, and it is the whole TV is just sitting in there. I'll have to weigh up whether or not I strip that down at some stage, but for the time being I can just use converter boards and go in the composite or S-video outputs on the back of the monitor. He's built a control panel a fair while ago. As you can see, he didn't recess the joysticks. They're very, very short. So that's one of the first things. And he did this extended panel and made the panel stick out further than that. So I'm probably, because that makes the machine take up even more room, I'm probably going to cut that off flush and mount it there. I'll still leave the bulge, I think, but I can always completely redo the panel. Also, he did it, like there's a PC in there, and there's actually a whole stereo system hooked up to these car speakers. One cover missing. There's never been a marquee in there, and as you can see, I've already put stuff on top of it. Yeah, there's not enough buttons on here, like there's no way of adding credits, so you've continually got to lift up and press on the keyboard. So first thing I'll be doing, I'll be taking that PC out that's in there. It's only running I think Windows XP and Windows 98, and it's got a really, really old version of MAME, really clunky interface. This harness on the back of this board here, hang on, I'll just flip him right up, is an old iPack. As you can see, nothing wired into the coins or software switch settings or anything like that, so it does need a couple more buttons. So just for the time being, I'm going to disassemble this and cut it down so it fits and doesn't sit out, and route out the joystick parts. So we'll go at least halfway through that and recess them, just so that you don't have the joysticks so deep there. Now he went for a straight across button configuration, which is why I may replace the whole board at some stage, but this'll do for the time being. So I'm just going to add a couple of buttons, grab a PC, we'll just flip around. I've got a pile of machines there, so there are more than enough components. I'll probably use that smaller form factor one there. Do need to oh yeah, you can have full high cards, so that's fine. Yeah, no, I can actually use that one. I'll just take the video card out of the PC it's got with the S-video output and use that. So anyway, I shall come back to you shortly with some progress. Okay, so we're back. As you can see, I tried several front ends. I started with Hyperspin because I've used that one before, but that one seems to be overcomplicated nowadays. And this is M Galaxy, one that I had a brief look at before. It wasn't very advanced, but now it seems to be a lot better. And to put it into context at the moment, obviously I only have a keyboard wedge, joystick interface. Now I haven't replaced this whole board, I haven't fixed the joysticks because I'm actually going to get a whole new piece of wood. This is melamine, or sorry, composite sheeting. I'm going to get some marine ply, which will allow me to route things, the gaps and things out. Now I've added a credit button and an extra button, which I can map to various things. Now obviously we'll figure out some sort of a rig for capturing gameplays. And I'll also have small parts on the way, so I do intend on getting rid of this keyboard wedge type joystick interface, because they can be a little slow and you can't have, well, it's very difficult to get multiple keys pressing in combination. But I've got a little board coming that will hook up to a jammer interface, and I'm going to put a jammer harness and wire up the new board in with the marine ply thing, and I'll paint that black and won't have it sticking out as much as this one does. But anyway, this seems to work, and the M Galaxy interface is pretty good. I've put a new, I've gone through all my bits and pieces PCs, and I've got a new PC in there, much more powerful than the old thing that was in there. And we're just using S-video output here, and it's not too bad. The machine auto boots into M Galaxy, but because it's a PC, you do have to make sure that you shut it down properly. But if I've got it so that when you exit M Galaxy, it shuts the PC down too. It doesn't go completely asleep. It just turns the screen blank if you don't use it for a while, and pressing any of the buttons on the controller will wake it back up again. As you can see, it's sort of got a bubble screensaver on at the moment. So basically you have an interface where you can scroll up and down, you can go pages left and right, and obviously with about 5,000 ROMs there, you need a quicker way. So you can bring this up and say we wanted to have a go at the last week's. So it's just using player 1 select as enter and player 2 select as cancel. There's always this week's game, but there's also, that's brought up because it's under William's Moon Patrol. We'll go with that instead. Now I don't have the sound turned up very loud, so we'll just rectify that. At the moment, to turn the sound up and down, because it's got a stereo system basically down there.
Launching game.
Still not very loud. As long as I pull up the joystick and point the remote control down there, get the sound working. So we have our Moon Patrol, and put a credit in. Probably still not very loud. Oh yeah, that's alright. So Moon Patrol is one of my games from back in the day in the arcade, and it's a horizontal game, which is what really the system is intended for the horizontal games. Ooh, that was close. Do love Moon Patrol. So hopefully this should make it easier for me to just have a quick practice of a game for the high score challenge, sort of thing, and just make it a bit easier for me to use and capture some gameplay for that. Plus also the other parts that I'm getting a, a 2 jammer, which basically allows you to put 2 jammer boards in, and then I'm going to hook the MVS board up into one, and that special adapter for the PC, which also has a sound amplifier in it, so which means I can get rid of the stereo that's sitting in here and just go straight up to these speakers. Now, if I press the both player 1 and player 2 buttons together, it exits the game, and then we can say go and select another game.
Launching game.
So it's a pretty good interface and works pretty well, so I'm fairly pleased with it, and the machine seems to be running the games at a reasonable speed. It just has some put a
crediting. Little issues because it's MAME and it's a PC, so but I think this interface has the right amount of functionality and not too heavy. There's probably some more settings I can play around with yet. Get rid of all that. We'll just do a one life thing here. I'm not going to take the gold. Pressing the wrong button to jump there. Not a bad little game, this one. Oops, got a hit there. And it's a nice and colourful one, so it's giving us the chance to died. Oh, anyway. Yeah, so very happy. I said have MAME on there. It's a 138 is the version. I do have a newer version of MAME on there, but I don't have the updated ROMs and haven't got around to fixing that. So I'll just draw back again. So that's it there, set up in its spot. Cleaned out that corner a little bit more. So very happy to have this, but I said we'll be doing some more changes. We'll completely replace that panel, wire it in with proper jammer harness, and I said a good chance to get my router out and do it properly, but I said a bit of marine ply rather than this composite stuff, and find some sort of marquee I suppose as well. Alright, I hope you enjoyed my little project here. I'm Electric Adventures. Thanks to all my subscribers, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.